Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you for your leadership, all the wonderful leadership we have of our female and male colleagues here today. Thanks for coming. And thanks, and I'm appearing on behalf of that great warrior, Barbara Lee, my co-chair of the Pro-Choice Caucus, who can't be here with us today. But we have been fighting for a woman's rights for years. And Judy Chu has been fighting for a woman's rights for years. And there's someone else who just got here for whom we wouldn't have had these advances over these last number of years. Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi is here. Thank you, Nancy. Someday Nancy and I are going to write a memoir of all the pro-choice battles that we fought side by side. And you know, as so many of the speakers said, last year, for the first time in our history, we lost a freedom that we had had for 50 years. And the people of America know this. The people of America know that their rights have been put in jeopardy. Across the country, we've seen the terrible results of the Dobbs decision. We've seen, as you heard, we've seen 11-year-old girls having to take across state lines to get the medical services they need. We've seen women in Texas who are having a miscarriage, who have been told to go into sepsis before they can get the medical services they need. But we also see every day people who are making their reproductive choices having to make extraordinary efforts to go to other states and to get those services that they need. This has to end. We have to pass the Women's Health Protection Act. We tried in the last Congress. The House passed it not once, but twice. And then they didn't take it over on the other side. But yet the atrocities continue to mount. And our Republican colleagues on the House side, they came in with a really bold agenda, which they said they were going to take away even more of our rights. But I think some of them heard from their constituents, because since the second week of the session, they haven't put these bills up. But we know where their intent lies. Their intent is to further weaken people's rights, but for sure, their intent is not to restore the rights that we need. And so we have a simple message today. We're reintroducing the Women's Health Protection Act. We have over 200 original co-sponsors of this bill. We will use every opportunity and tool at our disposal to make sure that we find a way to pass this bill, even though the leadership of the House is against it. We will fight every day, in every way, to make sure this is the law of the land. And then when we pass it through the House, we'll go over and have a little chat with our colleagues in the Senate, and we'll let them know what their constituents think too, because this will happen. And it was my dear friend and my wonderful colleague, John Lewis, who said this to us all the time. Nancy, you remember it well. We would get disheartened. We would get discouraged. And John Lewis would say to us, never give up and never give in. Folks, we're never going to give up. We're never going to give in till we restore every right. Thank you.